Previously on Danganronpa. Makoto, get out here. Kyoko, what's wrong? Hina just came to see me, and she was white as a ghost. Hina, what's wrong? So something's not right. In the rec room. What's inside? There was a window on the rec room door, and I hurried to look inside. And when I did, Sakura! I ran up to her as fast as I could. The moment I laid my hand on her. All I felt was cold death. Okay, let's get this class trial. Sorry, not trial, but let's get the investigation going. I for sure thought Hina was gonna bite it last episode. So I wouldn't say I was surprised. I would say if I had to have a kill order that was going to happen, I thought it was gonna be either Hina, Sakura, or Byakuya this time. I don't know why. I just like anytime I hang out with any character, they seem to die. Sakura only because I was on that list because of Byakuya and Toko, like disdain for them, and then but Hina I spent a lot of time with, and Byakuya I spent a lot of time with, so I was just kind of figuring those two would bite it. So anyway, let's get this investigation going. Hold on. Before that, there's something I want to say.
What?
Which is, Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene.
Huh?
What?
It's your fault!
One of you killed Sakura.
I won't forgive you.
I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force. You're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
It's all clear now.
I won't ask you to let us all in. Just me. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway.
Yep.
Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. And you, Hiro, do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care?
It's all clear now.
And then it's decided.
What are you saying?
Nothing's decided.
Calm down.
I like how he's just like, oh, it's decided. He's so matter of fact. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing. I know how you feel, Hina, but you should agree to his request. But
Hey.
we have to find out who killed Sakura.
Correct.
For those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine. I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her. Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
Listen.
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone, keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
Listen to me.
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura, it's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, you have to do it. It's kind of hopeless. It's a kind of hopeless hope. You have no choice but just to do it. Ooh, there was something smashed behind her. I better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Agami. Time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There's evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Monokuma file number 4 has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Sounds like poison, guys. I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why is that?
So...
The only way into the rec room is a door we just came through. and that door had been jammed shut with a chair from the inside of the rec room. I said that last time, which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door, either through the window or a secret passageway. So if the door was blocked from the inside, there was no way in or out till we broke the window. There's like zero escape, right? In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
Hey.
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
Fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means the killer commits his crime and then through that some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include a string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we have to do is check the door to see if that was what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words,
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
however,
But in this case, an arrow through a gap in the door? Like, how small is this arrow? But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list. I mean, a gap could be a hole in the, like a window, but...
it's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by
In
that?
other words,
They stay hidden when the door is open. They then use confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. Sounds like it could have been possibly, maybe?
it's true.
The fourth and the final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a
In
locked
other
room?
words,
By that I mean there was actually an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. So it could possibly be number 3? Right? Well, maybe, I don't know. We see Toko and we see Hiro before the alleged crime takes place, or before we find the body. The only person we don't see is Byakuya. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Then Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, nothing else. Alright, so we had some broken glass on the floor, or whatever this is. There were shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and there are the top and bottom sections of the bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor have been updated to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Huh? Something else on the ground near the glass. Ah, the figurine things inside those glass bottles. It's a figure. It fits the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Yeah, so it's one of these. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how'd they get those figures inside the bottles? That's what you're wondering?
So,
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. It's assembled inside. Huh? You know where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I
in
have.
other words,
So this is the Monokuma version of that, the Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottle has been added to truth bullet section of your handbook. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass in the Monokuma figure are the evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. Possibly. Alright, before we, like, screw this up any further, because I was like, that was starting to get away from me a little bit, I should probably talk to these people. What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. He's not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I better go before he crushes my soul completely.
However,
But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight. So, she was poisoned to weaken her, then she sat down, and then was hit over the head. That's my best guess.
it's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly. They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
What the heck?
We already know who did it!
Forgive you.
Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where, right? Here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She told me she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I had stopped her, by force even, this would never have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Hina's account has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked him to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. So let's talk to him again then.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go to see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds, threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Oh, okay, thanks. Byakuya's account has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Interesting. Alright, let's see what else we've got here. It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon, so roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving Alter Ego? This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well,
Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. It's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found the genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm her down a little bit. She was poisoned by a candy. Maybe Hina was actually the target. So you gave that candy to Sakura? I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. And who's been hanging out in the warehouse? Byakuya. And who do we find standing guard? Toko. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back into my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much?
Yes, I mean,
But I want Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. So I think Byakuya was targeting Hina originally. There's handprint. Somebody was trapped in there. What the fudge? Huh? The locker's open. And they're on the inside. It's a handprint.
why?
What's a handprint doing here? Looks like someone touched the inside of the locker. And it left a handprint of dust. And all the
It's
dust.
true.
And it looks quite fresh too. So they... Guys, it's Byakuya. It's gotta be. I'd say someone was hiding in here in the locker, and they left behind it a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was opened. Don't you think? And during all that confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group. I mean, it's a small group, so that'd be kind of hard, but
Wrong.
unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. And so they hid in there watching Sakura and then came out. Waited for her to like show signs that she wasn't feeling well. Popped out of the locker, smashed her over the head. That's how you get the jump on her. Yeah, so then what does the handprint mean? Locker handprint has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. It's directly behind her. They popped out, grabbed the bottle off the shelf, smashed her over the head after she had thrown up blood over here. There's a bloodstain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Magazine shelf bloodstain has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. The same shelf full of magazines. There are all different kinds of magazines here. Anything else? Should probably actually check the body. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of a blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Sasa Sakura's body has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya.
That's fine.
I can never get his name. I told you, it's gonna take, yeah, for the entire series, I'm never gonna get his name right. However, your eyes have landed on the most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting, don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Can we go back to the bloodstain then? There's bloodstain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Nope. There's more over here, though. Oh, she could have died from her protein shake. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the room. Why is it covered in glass, though? Oh, I mean, that could have been from the window.
So,
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can... It's got a label on it. It says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten it from this chem lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is it?
Hey.
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it. She didn't drink glass, did she? What does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it could become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. Okay. I mean, it's possible that the protein smoothie was... used to kill her. Then... Okay. Yeah. So it's possible that the killer, who I'm assuming is Byakuya, not necessarily targeted Hina for the candies, but knew she had a thing for the candies, and that she took the box from the warehouse because he was spending so much time in the warehouse. But he utilized the protein smoothie stuff, poisoned it, because maybe she's the only one that drinks it. But then had to plant the protein thing later on. So like the window was busted. Then when he showed up, he dropped that down on the floor. But why would he use that? Why would he plant that in the room? That's the thing. Like my thought was that maybe he's trying to frame Hina, but like I don't know if that would work. Like so he undid the wrapper, put it down on the floor next to her. And it's like, okay, so that, like these are Hina's candies. Hina poisoned her. But like, why would Hina do that? I don't know. Interesting. Okay, another layer there. Empty protein drink has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. That's the door. What's the window? Oh, we don't want to leave yet. Did we talk to Hina again?
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Yeah.
Forgive me.
Might be good to confirm what I just heard. Yep. Okay. Let's go talk to the other two. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand?
Certainly.
Okay. I think we've gotten everything in here. We got her body. We got the magazines. We got the things. We talked to Byakuya. So let's go to the door. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings had been tampered with. The only notable change is the door is the smashed window. To the door is a smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the door not from turning and the door from opening. There was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. The rec room door has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished what with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then,
Then you should probably go talk with the people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with two other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Alright. Leave the area. Those other two people probably went... why do I keep seeing people? The other two probably went back to their rooms. Do we find another double homicide? Alright, so Toko would be next, right? I forgot where... all these empty rooms. So sad. Toko! I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds... Huh? Who's there? The most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
What do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
Sorry. What do you want? You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master 2? I just said 2, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. And with that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Toko's account has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Alright. Let's go talk to flippin' hero now. I think isn't he down over here? I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Do you need something? Yeah, actually. I just checked... I wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. What? How'd you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that? When she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So, then when you... So you went and met with Sakura?
Got it all wrong!
No way! I totally didn't! Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually...
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt, and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then. Wait, I don't think Hiro took her to the nurse's office. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Oh, do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Sorry. Looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh? Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Hey, sorry. There's a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked me to meet with me. But I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that it was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. The pocket trash. Same pocket trash. Also, I'm pretty sure Sakura and Hina were the only ones that went to the nurse's office. I don't think Hiro was there. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again. But on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I was like, protein can be found on the floor of the rec room. Like, can it be found? I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Where should we start? Indeed. Next time. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon. Stop by Premiere Monday, Wednesday, or Friday at 2 p.m. EDT right here for more Danganronpa content. Until next time, go forth the rest of your day, make it a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.